door, and we are live.
Okay, good.
It says.
Okay, good. This is BMAC here with a very special guest. I've planned this for a long time. With Christie K. Yes, I said K. Christie, what's up?
Oh, nothing. It's cold today.
It is cold. So tell me a little bit about your childhood. We'll start off with, let's go in order here. So what was your childhood like? Where were you born? What was your childhood like?
Okay. I was born in California, in Orange County. I'm a Cali girl.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I was very studious.
Okay.
So I actually asked my teachers for extra homework because I loved just studying and doing homework for some reason. I was a weird kid. I did play sports. I played tennis and ran track and field and played basketball.
Oh, nice.
But I wouldn't say I do any sports now, but I used to.
Yeah. What are your hobbies? What are your hobbies like these days then?
Nowadays,
or were they before? What are they now? Let's go.
So my hobbies before, it's definitely changed over time. Before I used to knit and crochet a lot.
Yeah.
But now I am very into plants. So because of COVID, I started a lot of gardening and collecting a lot of plants inside my house. I also like ballroom dancing. And actually, that's how I met my husband.
Your husband?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about?
What do you feel strongly about? Let's go with that.
I feel passionate about living every day as your last day. I think it's good to have a work-life balance. So yeah, I work hard, but I also want to enjoy my life outside of work too. So that's a big thing of mine. I don't think we should be working all the time. I think we work and then we also have time to play.
Now, were you a rambunctious kid at all? Were you the kind of kid that run around all the time and run around a lot?
Maybe, but not. I wouldn't say I was running around. I grew up with an older brother and a younger sister, so we would play in our neighborhood on the street.
Yeah.
But I would say out of the three of us, I was the more shy and rule following kid.
Okay. Did you ever do any? What kind of music do you like these days?
I do like the mainstream top 100.
Okay.
But I also really like EDM music.
Okay.
I don't know if you listen to that type of music, Brian.
This is electronic?
Yeah, it's called electronic dance music. So there are sometimes lyrics, but also it has a stronger beat. So it's not always lyrical.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more dancing and very upbeat.
So who's someone that inspires you, I guess? Do you have any favorite actors that you like a lot in movies? Who's your favorite actress, I guess? Or what kind of movies do you like?
I think most recently, Michelle Yeoh. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's an Asian actress who recently starred in this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It was a great movie. I think I told you about it. There's a bunch of it's about meta universes and good and bad. Kind of a crazy movie, but it was really good.
Do you like movies with singing in it or no?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
To a degree?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Sometimes I don't understand what they're saying though because it goes into song.
I was gonna ask that question. How do you know when the timing of that's gonna work? When they start doing that in the song, can you tell when it's coming or no? Is it one of the things you can kind of tell when you think it's gonna come on and it does?
Yeah, I think you can tell. There's a build up to it for sure.
Yeah. Were you ever musically yourself in school at all? Any musical stuff in school?
Yes. Growing up, I played piano from when I was 5 to maybe like 16.
Yeah.
And then I also played violin for a couple years in middle school. And then I played the clarinet and I was in band.
You really musically nowadays or no?
No.
No? No, you're not musically.
It was enough. When I was a kid, like I said, I was very studious. So after school, I would have either have to do my homework or go to, sports practice. And then I would have to go home and also do like private lessons for music and then have to practice music. So it was just a lot. So I guess now I just don't have time, don't really want to do that.
Now. It's very interesting to me. I don't know if it's about you. See, I said this to you before, off the air, of course, but I'll say it to you on the air if people don't know. I think you have a good audiobook voice for audiobooks. I've always said that to you in the past. Do you think you agree? Do you think it's accurate? I think you have a good audiobook voice,
I think you have a great ear for that, but I feel like I find my voice not the most, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just you have a good ear for that, but I wouldn't have thought that for myself.
So, are you into any musicals at all? Musicals? I know you mentioned movies. You like a lot of movies. What about musicals?
Do I like any musicals?
Yes.
I've seen Hamilton on Disney, not live. I've seen a couple musicals. I saw a musical in London a couple of years ago called Waitress. It's pretty good.
What was that about?
A waitress. She just works at a bakery and it's like her life. But it was actually very well made.
Yeah. Was there ever a movie that was ever made or no?
Of that one?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm sure there is. There's like most musicals. I feel like have become movies.
Do you have a favorite one?
I love Wicked.
You do?
You've seen Wicked?
I know a couple of the songs from it.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. And it's such a cool story.
What's it about per se? I've heard.
So you know the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
It's about the witch of the West. The evil
Glinda.
witch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the two witches. There's the good and the bad witch. But it's a totally different take of the story that we see in Wizard of Oz.
What do you mean different take?
You see a different side of the witches, like their personality and like how they became who they are. And, it's a very cool story.
I mean, you mentioned Wicked before. Are you a fan? Do you like her? I like her a lot. Is Kristen Chenoweth?
Yeah, she has such a beautiful voice.
Yeah. How is it possible for someone her size have a bigger? Her voice doesn't match her size. Like she has a bigger voice. Like you'd be very surprised, right? She's
just like you.
What do you mean, just like me?
You have such a strong voice when you're karaokeing. Like I wouldn't have expected that from you either.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: have you seen Mamma Mia?
Yes, I have. On in the movies. I haven't seen it live. But.
Are you an Amanda Seyfried fan? You like Amanda Seyfried? I like her.
Oh, I know
much.
you. She's one of your favorites now, right?
Yes. Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you read any books at all? Do you like listening to reading books? I know you mentioned you said you were being studious. I
was studious. I used to love reading, and I feel like as I grown up, I just actually haven't had much time to read. Mm-hmm. And when I do read, it's more books that have become movies. I read the last book I read was the series from Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh.
Have you seen that movie?
No, what is that?
It's a really fun movie too. It's just these really, really rich Asian families in Singapore. They live such extravagant lives, and it's like a love story.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. How did you become an OT?
How did I become an OT? That's a great question. So if people don't know, I'm the occupational therapist at Shore. And I originally was volunteering somewhere at a karate dojo, actually. I was preparing to apply for medical school to be like a doctor. And a requirement to do that is, you have to be involved in the community and volunteer. So I was volunteering at a dojo for kids with disabilities.
Yeah.
And so I would go there every Saturday and like work with the kids to participate in karate. A lot of them have any type of disability, physical, could be cognitive disabilities. And I was helping them be independent and participating in something meaningful to them. And I learned from the owner of that karate dojo. He was an occupational therapist, and that's where I learned what OT was and discovered that that's what my passion was to help people do things and participate in things that are meaningful to them.
Now, interesting enough, you work with kids. I could see you working with. I could see you working with little kids. Believe it or not, did you work with little kids? I can see you doing that.
Yeah, that's. That definitely was on my my site when I was growing up, and even when I went into OT school, I was planning to work with kids coming out of school.
Yeah.
And even before school, I worked with kids. I was a preschool teacher for a little bit. I worked at Kumon, which is like a learning center for kids. So I did work with kids a lot prior to OT school. And then through OT school, I learned there's so much more to OT. And I learned that I actually love working with adults.
Yeah. So what made you change that from little kids to adults? What made you switch that over?
I think because for pediatrics with kids, it's a lot about play. So OT, we work on things that are meaningful to the person that we're working with. And for kids, playing is their main occupation, other than their basic self-care tasks. But once I started working with adults, I feel like I connected more with adults and can make more meaningful impacts with adults. So that's why I kind of chose to go this way.
Do you like little kids though? I mean, do you still like little kids when you see them? Like when
I love kids.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Ask about your culture for a second. So what is famous about your culture, the Asian culture? Like, what do you find the most impactful, I guess, in the Asian culture?
So I'm Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I just wanted to so people know.
Yeah.
What's the most impactful? I feel like that's kind of a hard question.
It is.
I think we are very impactful in our food. A lot of people here at Shore love Chinese food.
Yeah.
Every time
Not
I ask
me.
them,
Yeah.
no, not you.
What would you describe it as? Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
You're a plain Jane. You're PB&J and tuna fish and chicken tenders.
Yes. Please, yes. Please do not denounce me.
But everybody else here, if you ask them, their favorite food is Chinese food. So,
yes.
So Chinese food is very impactful here. Yeah. I love Chinese food.
You do?
Not my favorite, but
no.
I grew up eating it, so it's not like super special, I guess, to me.
Yeah.
One of our biggest holidays is Chinese New Year. So it follows the lunar calendar, so it changes kind of every year when it is.
Yeah.
But that's a big time when families come together and they eat well. There's certain dishes we eat together, and it's just a good gathering of family and good fortune.
That's great. So, did you ever go to China? Did you ever go down there?
I have.
You have?
I have with my family.
What is it like over there when you go down?
It's different. It's much more crowded, like a lot of people. I guess it depends on what parts of China, but I went on a tour, so they took us to all like the touristy spots. Yeah. So there were a lot of people there. Are
they partying bunch down there like us? Are they at the party? They like to do that over there? say?
I went with my family, and I was younger, so we didn't do much party.
Okay, but what about now? Like, what about like now? Like if you went down there now, you think? Like if you went down there
I'm sure you could find those
Like,
areas. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think if I went down there? What do you think I would like? If I was ever down, what do you think I would like about China? If I ever went to that country, what do you think I would get the most if I went down there? Like, would there be anything fun you think I would like over there if I went down there?
You wouldn't like the food.
Okay, I know that.
So I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to McDonald's or something in China.
China.
You go to China to go to McDonald's.
I'm saying like for fun, because I'm a guy that likes entertainment, action, karaoke. Like, would they have that in China? I assume they would, right?
Oh yeah, they
You
have.
do?
Chinese people love karaoke.
They do?
Yes, they do.
Really?
Well, I personally don't, because I don't sing very well.
I was actually going to ask that question next. Do you sing?
No.
You don't. Not even at home, or is that different at home?
It's different at home,
Oh.
or like by myself, but
By
like
yourself.
no.
What do you put on music in the car when you're alone? What do you put on music on the radio?
I usually listen to either Jamming 94.5
Oh, wow. Okay.
or I listen to like a country station. So
See,
it's very different, like alternating.
See, but it's funny. I was surprised about jamming because I feel like you'd be more like a magic person, not a jamming person. I feel like you'd be more like a magic person.
Sometimes
than a jamming person.
that is one that I rotate through, but
It is.
jamming is like my first choice. If it's a commercial, then I switch to something else.
Now, what do you do for fun on the weekends? You kind of just like relax a lot. Or do you do a lot of playing on the weekends too?
On the weekends, if I'm not working, I usually go to the gym with my husband.
Gym.
We always go to the gym. We love our gym.
Yep.
There's a lot of like adulting things like grocery shopping.
Yep.
Tending to my plants. Gardening. Seeing friends.
Mm-hmm. What made the COVID thing made you stop planting more? But what was it about? You mentioned that a little while ago.
Yeah.
How did that become a factor, you think? You said that COVID kind of helped you plant more. What do you mean by that?
I think during the shutdown, when a lot of us were home, we were stuck at home, and like you didn't really go out much because we weren't supposed to be, out and about as much because of COVID. We didn't know what it was. So I spent a lot of our time at home and wanted to make it homier. So by having plants, it kind of just made your house just more cozy and somewhere that you would have spent more time in.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. Are you a Disney fan?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Okay. Favorite Disney character?
Character, not movie.
Well, let's start movie first. Let's go have a little fun here.
That is a hard question, though. There are so many good Disney movies.
Okay. Movie first. Thank you.
Are we going with classics or like the new ones?
Let's do it at both. Let's do classics first.
Let's see. I would say either Lion King or I don't know, that's a hard, maybe Pocahontas.
Okay. Now, this is a challenging question. Ready for this one? Disney question. Challenging question. Who do you think, out of all the princesses, you think could run this country? Who do you think? If we were, I'm just,
run the country?
Yes, our country right now. If I'm just hypothetically speaking, if you had to, like, who do you think, out of all the princesses, do you think would be the best person for a princess speaking now, of course?
Okay.
If you had to pick.
So who are our choices? Can you list the names of people?
Yeah. So Belle, Ariel, Jasmine. Yeah, I'm giving you the three choices.
Belle,
give me your take.
Ariel, or Jasmine.
That's a.
All right. If I give my answer, you're going to give your answer?
Yeah.
Your argument?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. You explain yours.
I would say Belle because she's very studious. She loves to read, so she's very like informed. I feel like.
Yeah.
And she's with the people. Like she lived, in just like a small town and family oriented. She loves her dad, and I think she would be the most educated and like would know how to fight for her people, like the people.
Do you think Belle would be good if she ever had to do a debate? Would she be good, do you think, at it? I think she could do well.
I think she could do well.
Yeah.
She had to like handle the beast.
Yeah, she did. So, I mean, I would say either Belle or Jasmine. Jasmine's good. So, I think she's a good pick, but I'm not sure how she would do on a debate stage. I think she would be good to run, but I'm not sure how she would do well. I don't know if she would get rattled easily or not. Do you see Jasmine the type that would get easily, that would get rattled pretty quick, or do you think Belle would be better in a situation like that where she would remain calm? And a very interesting thing to think about, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think? I would say Belle would probably be better because Belle knows what's. I think Belle's less likely to get rattled.
Less easily, yeah. I think so too. I mean, she got kidnapped, kind of, and
she was calm even then.
And then she was calm.
Yeah.
Had to handle with talking doors and dressers.
Teapots. Yeah.
I think she was very composed.
Yeah. Now, but do you think Jasmine would do well running? I think Jasmine probably could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's royalty too, so she's probably used to it a little bit.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you: do you have a lot of friends that you call "quote unquote"? I have a friend, as I call it, but do you have a lot of friends that you call "quote unquote" besties?
Oh yes, definitely.
You do.
Yeah. Who's your bestie?
I have a lot. One of them is actually I'm on the show next week. Her name is Samantha. Having her on my show next week. You'll get to hear that one. She's one of my closest friends. I've known her for almost 2 years now, and we have a ton in common. We actually talk on the phone on Tuesdays at night.
Yeah.
For an entire hour.
Wow.
From 6 or 7 o'clock.
How do you know her?
I met her dad. Her dad actually worked at a show I was saying with Gene Simmons at, and Lynn, her dad was a security guard.
Okay.
So, and that's how I know her.
Oh wow! And you guys go way back then.
Yeah, but me and her, we've been friends for almost a couple of years now. But I feel we couldn't. I think we should have been friends longer. I think we should have met years before because we have that commonality.
Yeah.
Now, who would you say is your closest bestie that you keep in touch with regularly? Do you have a certain friend? Who would you say is your closest friend?
My closest, I would say I have two. Hard to choose from the two of them. Kimmy and Annie, who are my best high school best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But we haven't lived in the same city since high school. We've kind of all spread out.
Yeah. Now, are they from California too?
Yes, they're from California. One's in New York and one is in California still.
Oh, wow. It's funny because you said you're from California, but you don't talk like a Californian, which means like you don't have like a strong you don't have like a you know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm getting at?
What are you trying to say?
Like you don't have like that. Like you don't say right on, man, or you don't say or also you don't say cool, man. Like you don't have like that
surfer.
Yeah.
Surfer talk.
Yeah. Is that because you didn't grow up in that kind of area of California?
I think it's dramatized in movies. I don't think a lot of people actually talk like that.
Don't? Why?
I don't know. It's because I think there's a stereotype of California people, because a lot of people surf in California, so they are like surfer people,
Really?
surfer talk, but I don't think most people talk like that.
They don't.
Actually.
So if I went to that state and asked, hey, do you sound like a surfer dude? Would both of them say yes or no if I asked them, hey, do you sound like a surfer dude or not? Because I pretty pick up on it.
I think you'd pick it up. Yeah, but I don't think most people. Maybe back in the day, but not anymore.
Not now. I'm just curious about that. And have you been back to California? Have you gone back to visit at all?
Yes, I went back in May. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in May.
Wow. What is your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song?
Yes.
Oh, is it Wham! Last Christmas?
Yes. That's a great song.
That's definitely one of my favorites.
You mentioned that you like, what was it, EDM? You said EDM?
Yes.
Do you like any of the current artists like Ariana Grande?
Oh, yeah. I love her. She has a great voice.
Yeah. What about Taylor Swift? Do you like her music?
Yes. I'm actually considering going to her concert. Are you going to go?
I don't know. When is that?
I believe it's in May.
In May? Where's she playing?
She has 3 concerts at the Gillette Stadium.
Wow.
It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Do you think Taylor at her shows is a mingler? Like she'll mingle with people?
With guests?
Yeah, or fans,
like with
whatever.
fans?
Yeah. It depends who she's
You
with.
probably have to buy the super expensive VIP package
Really?
to be one of those minglers.
That minglers.
Yeah, because she originally only had 2 concerts in Boston area, and now she added a third because she had so many. She probably has so many fans that want to see her.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years since her last concert.
Now, out of all your besties, who was the most bubbly out of all your besties? If you had to pick Cami or Annie, who was the more bubblier type? If you had to pick.
Definitely Kimmy.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, it's been a fun time having the podcast, Chrissy. I'm glad. I appreciate the fact that you took the time and said yes, come on my show.
Anytime. I feel honored that you finally asked me.
Well, I had to get to some people.
Yeah, you do. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Such a popular guy, but I'm so glad I got to be on the
I'm happy I got you on the podcast, and I think if you ever wrote your own memoir, would you ever write your own memoir of your life, or would that be something you would look at?
I don't know. Maybe in a video form, like I don't feel like I'm a really great writer, but I think making a montage of clips of my life.
Ah, okay.
I love taking photos, so and videos on my phone, and so I feel like putting that together would be a great way for me to show my life.
Would you ever do your own podcast?
No.
No? Why not?
I'm gonna be honest. No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Personality or not just that?
I just feel like I don't know what I would say every day.
It should be called the Life of an OT podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The Life of an OT show. Would that be kind of boring, you think?
I think it would get boring. I mean, actually, I don't think it would be boring.
No.
Because I would talk about a lot of the things that happen at work or like the stories, and I think it'd be kind of interesting. But I don't think I would do that.
What about if you ever did an audiobook? I would hope it would be right in your voice, because it's better when the person that writes it reads it on their own. Do you find that? Do you find it to be the case too? Have you ever listened to books that have been read by the person that wrote it?
I haven't heard any memoirs by the actual author that wrote it, but I know that there are really good voices for book. Like, if you are that person that is a good, has a good voice.
Yes,
exactly. The books do sound much better.
Yeah, like I actually, I'll say real quick before I go. I was at do you a big fan of the character of Harley Quinn? I am.
I know you are. Yeah, I remember you told me about her.
Yes. Yeah. And what about the character? I mentioned the Belle last weekend ago. I was at Rhode Island Comic Con and I actually met the girl that voiced Belle. I told her to write her own book.
Yeah.
And I gave her a title. I gave her a title for it too. I told her it would be called Being Belle: My Life in Disney.
Oh, that's a great title.
And she actually liked that title, actually.
Yeah.
And I asked her, "Can you still sing? Like you did?" And she said, "Yeah." She said she's singing a lot. She's a new Beauty and the Beast special with Josh Groban as the Beast.
Oh wow!
And Joshua Henry, I think, is playing Gaston. And I think she makes a cameo. She makes a cameo in the Beauty and the Beast show too.
It's a show or the
I think it's live
action.
I think it's like a show. I don't know exactly, but I know she's in it. But
she must be so much older now.
Yeah, she's 60.
Yeah.
But she still has that princess voice when she talks. So that hasn't changed at all. Now, do you think when you've done that movie character like that, your voice doesn't change? Like I feel like it's interesting how people that have done those characters, even with age, their voices haven't changed.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know.
Depends.
There's something special about like a singing voice. Because even I've noticed with like people singing in different languages that they're not native in.
Yeah.
They sing it in like perfect like
English?
accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone's like from another country and they speak another language. When they sing in English, they have like a perfect
without an accent, even without the accent even being like picked up.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
It's really cool.
Now, how did you meet your husband?
Ballroom dancing.
Oh, ballroom dancing.
Yes.
Oh wow. What's he like? Is his personality somebody yours? Is he more quieter? What's he like?
He's definitely more quirky.
Oh. What do you mean by quirky?
Just like more silly and
He is.
Yeah.
Are you like that too sometimes though? Are you like that
sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely a rule follower.
What does that mean?
I follow the rules. Like I like to
Go by the book.
go by the book, and it's hard for me to go outside the book sometimes.
Yes.
No?
Now let's hear a quick congratulations to our candidate mayor, Jonathan Kushmerek, who won for sure mayor today. Congratulations to Jonathan, who just won for mayor candidate. I must say that before we go.
How'd you hear? How'd you know
They
that?
announced it.
During the podcast?
Yes.
Oh, you have good hearing.
Yep.
Wow. It's like I didn't hear anything in this room.
I heard it. Yep. And I must say to Jonathan Kushmerek, who won. You deserve it, John. And did you ever run for office at some point? Did you ever do that? Did you ever do that?
The closest to running for something was I got nominated for homecoming court in high school.
Oh.
So with like everyone in the high school, they had to vote for like who would be the homecoming king and queen. So that's the only type of thing I think that's the most similar.
Now, if we ever have a Shore Senate race at some point, I'm going to put my name on the hat.
I know you will.
You know what? Well, what do you mean by that?
You're all about the you know, making a change. You know?
Well,
it's great.
That's great.
You need people like that.
What's that? You need people like that?
Yeah.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, Christie. It's been a great time. And love you guys. Next week, next Thursday, I will have Samantha on. I'm going to say it. One of my closest besties, like Christie, as you said, you get two besties. Like Christie, you have two besties.
I have two besties.
Yes. So, yeah. And you know what I've noticed a lot about myself? I'm going to say this real quick. I don't know if you notice this a lot. I noticed that a lot of my friends now have changed from a lot of bestie boys to now a lot of girls. You know why? And can I tell you why I say that?
Yeah, why?
Know? I feel like girls, you can talk to them easier, and they seem like they have a lot more to say than most guys.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you find have you noticed that, or maybe that's me just being biased? What do you think? You think that's accurate?
I think it depends on the person.
The person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Christie. Today it's been a great time. And guys, subscribe to my channel always. And don't forget, next Thursday I have Samantha on, and Wednesday. Have a great weekend, guys. Again, congratulations for mayor. Congratulations for mayor. You deserve it, John. Great time, guys. Thanks, Christie, for a great time.
Thanks, Brian. Let's end this.